This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Charlotte Tilbury is a global beauty phenomenon.
Being customer obsessed is looking at the need state of a consumer, looking at the white space in the market, thinking about what they need before they know that they need it.
Obsession isn't what Charlotte Tilbury does, it's who she is. When I started Aspire, I knew I had to talk to Charlotte. From a young girl dreaming out loud to creating a billion-dollar beauty empire, Charlotte Tilbury is here to give you the brand-building secrets that works for her.
It's an overcrowded space. It's ripe for disruption. 5 people own the world. We are going to democratize this. We are going to make this easy for you. We are going to give you the tools to empower you to feel like the most beautiful, confident version of yourself.
In this conversation, Charlotte shares how obsession, belief, and relentless focus can build something the world told you wasn't possible. But behind that success is a story few people ever hear.
All human beings suffer from insecurity. I've trained my mind. I've been able to create amazing things, that kind of belief mindset that you don't have to limit yourself, that you can think limitlessly.
You're the president, the chief creative officer, and the chairman. I want to understand the first concrete step that you took to building Charlotte Tilbury.
Where did it all start? It started with me.
Charlotte Tilbury.
Darling Emma Grede.
Darling, I am so happy to have you here. Words can literally not explain.
Oh, God.
This was
so
hard.
excited.
Hard to get in. I'm not going to lie, love. You are one busy woman.
So she says to another busy lady, I know it's mad, but thank you so much for not giving up on me and making it happen, because
Listen.
I was so excited. I was like, I have to make this happen because you are amazing and I'm obsessed with your podcast.
I love you for saying that. I mean, listen, day one out the gate, I was like, I made a list of all the businesswomen. I was like, it has to be Charlotte. And I think there's so much.
Thank you so much. I feel so honoured.
Honestly, you should feel honoured, but you should also know that we've been dying to chat with you. I think there are so many people that are just desperate to know more about your story. And I feel like in some kind of crazy way, like I grew up in the fashion industry knowing so much about you. It was like Charlotte. So I was like in the proximity. I knew I was in the proximity of greatness, but so many people that listen to this show are dreaming about building something of their own, and you've done that. But that kind of leap from idea to execution can feel completely impossible for people. So today, I really want to dig into your background, exactly how you did it, and to understand
what was the dream? How did it happen?
What was the dream? How did it happen? How did it all come to fruition? So the first question that I've got for you is, I want to understand the first concrete step that you took to building Charlotte Tilbury, because as I understand it right now, you're the president, the chief creative officer, and the chairman of Charlotte Tilbury. Did you plan it to be that way?
It started with me wanting to be a makeup artist. I think in a very early age, kind of understanding that that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to hone my craft on everyone else's dime.
Charlotte, for those people that don't understand how fashion works and don't potentially know so much about your background, you were like a backstage makeup artist. You were right at the top of your game, but you were the person that would come to the show, create all of the looks. You'd be backstage yourself, in charge of the overall creative direction of the makeup.
Right.
And then you gravitated into this consultancy role where people were using you to actually help develop their own lines, correct?
Their own lines, exactly. So I'd had this career as a kind of world's top makeup artist, sort of, where we kind of knew each other. And then ended up sort of being a creative consultant for, with Tom Ford, which is amazing. I mean, he's such a kind of legend, and I love working with him. And then Helena Rubinstein and Giorgio Armani and Mac and Alexander McQueen. Those were just kind of some of the products that we're working with all the labs, creating blue sky development, coming up with concepts, ideas, and leaving a lot of kind of amazing bestsellers in my wake. But at the same time, having a project which I called the Ibiza Project, which was a book that I kept with all the kind of, when I just saw this massive gap in the industry where people come up to me and say, oh my God, I want to look like, whoever, Penelope Cruz or Kate Moss, whoever I was working with. And I would always feel that, they weren't quite, they couldn't get the look, or I didn't quite have the products. It was fine for me because I was sitting there with mixing mediums,
trying to mix in a blender,
exactly, in a blender, trying to get the kind of right products to kind of make it happen. But I couldn't just give them those products or get the look. And I also felt that they said, oh, I could never look like that. And that made me feel, actually, no, we don't, everyone doesn't come from a different planet for celebrities. They know the power of makeup. They know how, that can make them look and feel. And I wanted to kind of decode that and demystify it and give it to everyone. And so I came up with the kind of concept of my brand, which was basically a very obvious idea. And I always think the best idea is sparkle and simplicity. And so it was, and it was get the look. It was like 10 looks. And the fact that when you think about people, actually, there was something that, you and I are both dyslexic, but that kind of understanding of actually pattern recognition.
Yes.
I'm really good. I'm sure you're really good at pattern recognition. You realise over decades.
Who you were.
Exactly. Who are the different looks. So 34 years of experience now, a kind of like a data kind of algorithm that I've just sort of by osmosis sort of sucked into this library, having worked with so many people with kind of, different hair colour, different skin tone, different eye colour, all these amazing, brilliant visionaries and creators that I have the privilege and honour to have worked with. And all of this has sort of gone into my kind of brain. And then you sort of realise you end up it sort of spits that out, a kind of pattern recognition and an algorithm of this kind of library of data that is in my brain.
Which is unbelievable.
Which is what, and that's why kind of, I've been doing this for 34 years, having been kind of, arguably one of the world's top makeup artists, doing the fashion shows, working on the kind of runway couture, red carpet, which again, an editorial, which was quite a rare career because, as you know,
you were one of very, very few. What I'd like to understand is, when did you know it was time to launch your own thing? Because to my mind, did you?
Always knew from a young child. I remember telling my parents, I was like, I was like, I'm going to create a brand there like that. Oh, darling, marvellous. Like, But yeah, and I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. But
so
I wanted to hone my craft and then go on to do it. I think I had to learn a few lessons along the way. I think kind of, I wasn't, you go from being a makeup artist to being an entrepreneur to being the founder, kind of president, chief creative officer of my company and creating what I've created today, which is the biggest beauty empire ever to have existed in the UK and a global brand. And, it's like, and I'm ashamed.
Are you so proud of yourself when you say that?
I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself. I am, because, it ain't always easy, but it's really rewarding.
Oh, Charlotte,
and it's really
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So let me just paint the picture. You're at the top of your game at this point, right? You really, really are.
Yeah.
And you're carrying around the Ibiza book, which is your book of everything that you believe is needed. You've created the archetypes. Where did you go before you had investors, before you had staff?
So wait, let me just.
What'd you do?
So I've gone off. I've kind of honed my craft. 40 fashion shows a season, around the world, red carpet, editorial, couture, doing it all, right? That's a very rare career, number one.
Very.
So, because most artists are either one or the other or not all three. Then I have gone off and become a creative consultant to some of the biggest houses, luxury houses in the world, and created some of the best-selling products. And everything pretty much I did kind of sold out.
How were you remunerated over there? Like, if you're making some of the best-selling products in the world, were you seeing your products selling and going, oh, that was a nice consultancy fee? I loved that.
And still some of them today. I mean, I was paid extremely well, but I didn't have equity in those brands. And I was like, and that was fine. For me, I was also holding back. Also, I was somebody else's vision that I was working for. So it would bring my brilliance to it, and my craft and my know-how and my expertise of quality and formula and design and ergonomics, etc. But to a certain degree, because it was their house and to a certain degree their budget, what labs they wanted to work with, what kind of efficacy. I was like, fine, if you want to take it to a certain level, that's fine. I'm going to keep the best for moi.
I'm going to keep the best for me. All right, so you've had this extraordinary career. You're working for the best houses in the world. And then you're like, you have the book.
So I'm working with the best houses in the world. I've got this vision that I'm always going to go and create my own brand, that I am just honing my craft by doing what I'm doing. I get to the point where I'm like, okay, it's now, I've got to do it. After having some of these amazing consultancies with some of the great houses, I had to grow up and be a businesswoman. So I slightly got messed around. But then I was like, right, you need to grow up and become a businesswoman. But you've got to kind of be a lawyer. You've got to be able to be an accountant. You've got to be able to do it all. You've got to be able to understand and read a P&L. You've got to go through every single clause. You've got to read everything and I am a bit of a control freak. So in a way, I was like, that was part of the journey to kind of becoming a businesswoman. And I think when I had this tin shed that I kept, basically the hysterical tin shed, where I would keep the Ibiza project, which I wrote about I looked at the really kind of the end-to-end consumer journey, because I'm obsessed with the consumer, as we all are. And you and I are very good consumers, so we're kind of naturally kind of hardwired that way. I really thought about what was missing in the beauty space. The world was so ripe for disruption. Mm-hmm. 5 conglomerates owned the world. Everyone told me I was mad. Everyone told me that that I couldn't do it. That 5 people owned the world, and that was just the way it was. And things were done the way that they were for like 100 years. And I was like, perfect. It's ripe for disruption. And also having been an expert at what I do at the top of my game, seeing what was missing for the consumer, seeing the white space that was out there in the market, seeing that when I went into the shops, it was confusing, demystifying, it wasn't easy to choose, it wasn't easy to use, it wasn't easy to gift. It was like, and just reimagining that whole end-to-end 360 journey for the consumer. And that for me was just like, okay, that was the light bulb moment where I was like, okay, this is, and I think just, there is that thing of, I really kind of live by feel the fear and do it anyway, that kind of fearless belief, a total belief. And I'm also a big believer in, creative visualization.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I do that all the time. So I wrote my business plan. I had my tin shed. I had my Ibiza project. I imagined.
Who helped you? Did you have anyone with you at that point, or was this just you?
So creatively, I had done all of my kind of, I had my tin shed. I had the kind of Ibiza project where I had literally imagined what the counters would look like, what the products were. I mean, still the products to this day.
Did it look like how the counters look with those like 10 faces in the beginning? That's so
looks.
crazy. That was it
looks.
for me.
As
soon as I saw those 10 looks, I was like, no, I need 5 of that. No, I need 6. I need all 10. I need all the 10
exactly,
looks,
you need all
right?
10.
You
exactly,
need all 10.
change your different. You need a makeup wardrobe.
Yeah, totally.
You need a makeup wardrobe. And also technology. Like at the time, I really kind of had this vision of, could we create this amazing app? But actually, augmented reality wasn't at the place I wanted to be. Right. So my kind of vision and of where I wanted beauty tech to be wasn't really there all those years ago. But it's all written down in this book. And then I go and find, through this great friend of mine, Isabella Cordo and Marcus Siri, I find actually this guy who helped Tamara Mellon, I think, write her business plan. So then he sat with me and we went through all the labs, wrote the business plan, started to understand the P&L, how it worked, what it was. And
you brought him on as a consultant?
It was just a consultant.
He helped you write the plan?
He just helped me write the plan, but then you write your own plan because you have to understand it, your labs, your cost of goods. And then I went out to market and basically raised money, but I was my own, basically, I had a lead investor, but ultimately I backed myself. I put a lot of my own money into this brand. I backed myself. And I didn't really take a salary for the first few years of the brand.
Take me back to that part, because I feel like that's where people get so stuck. They don't know where to start. And you were able to just go, was it easy for you to raise money? How did you raise that first check?
I think, I didn't have a track record as a businesswoman, but I had a track record of being a beauty, I was kind of a beauty entrepreneur at that point. I suppose it was like I was a makeup artist that created best-selling products. And I had a lot of best-selling products by a lot of the top brands in the market.
The word in the fashion community was that like these things that we were all using were developed by you. And that you very much were someone who was like super innovative and was just crying out for your own brand. So I think if you were somebody that just didn't know you that well but knew you by reputation alone, there was this like thing that was kind of happening and sizzling around, and quite honestly, people were probably lining up to give you money. But did you experience it like that? Was it easy for you to go out and raise?
It's not like I knew a huge amount of the investment community at the time. I'm obviously one now, knows everyone, but at the time I didn't. And you go and see a few people and they're just like, they don't really kind of believe and they don't really get it. But then I was just like, idiots if they don't get it, because it's going to be huge. And then I had this amazing investor, actually, Marcus, who I loved, who actually was one with me on the journey all the way. This
was like your first investor?
Yeah, he was my lead investor.
How much did you have to raise in the beginning? Like, I just want to understand, like, did you have to go and raise tens of millions of dollars, or was it a little bit of money?
I didn't. It was like about £1 million at the beginning, but it's like, it wasn't a lot of money. But then we raised money every single year.
Wow.
So we raised money and that's how I ended up owning so much of the brand. Because I was like, I'm not giving away. I backed myself. I put a lot of my own money into it. But then we grew so fast. I always knew how fast we would grow. I don't think anyone really quite realised how fast we would grow. From day one, it was just like, it was a runaway success.
It was a runaway success. And I think that's what everybody remembers. But so then you had to keep raising, like year after year after year. How did you manage to keep hold of the business, considering you had to go out and keep raising money?
Well, I think, you do it. It's like now I still work. I'm still incredibly passionate about what I do. I kind of work. We both work round the clock, but because we love it, because we're passionate about it, and obsessed, I would say. I remember every summer holiday, I'd be still raising money. It was like through my summer holidays, it was like I was probably raising money, and then you kind of do it all kind of, you sort of get to that point where you realise, okay, we need another injection because actually the growth is so big and the opportunity is so big. So, but I'm glad I did it like that because I managed to hold on so much of the company.
It's so smart.
And then we bought Silicon Valley in about Sequoia in about when we were about $500 million, and then kind of, from then on, they came in, and then that was a game changer, because it was like my whole kind of beauty tech vision of how I saw the beauty industry going, and in giving a consumer what she wants, where she wants. When I was reimagining this whole end-to-end journey, this cycle of what did I disrupt in the beauty industry, what was the white space that I saw? And what it was that when a consumer would go into the shop, it was confusing. It was 5 conglomerates owned the world. You didn't know what to choose. You didn't know what to use. It was a very homogenized space.
Totally.
It was like everything looked the same. Everything was black, homogenized. There was no personality. There was no backstage. There was no bring me into my world, excite me, have fun, delight me, retail theatre. It had all been taken away.
And you could see that.
And I could see that. And I was like, what happened to retail theatre? Where's the fun gone? And then I thought about all these women that would say to me, I wish I could look like celebrities or the supermodels you'd make up. And I was like, okay, so that's when I realised that, I came up with the whole kind of vision of the archetypes. And I realised that was really my kind of, the algorithm in my brain, the pattern recognition of realising over and over, looking at people being like, oh, here we go again, it's a golden goddess. It's that type of woman. Yeah. So it's that type of archetype. So then...
Did you find that difficult to explain to people? Because again, in creative and beauty, lifestyle spaces, there's less understanding, I imagine, in the financial community for them to actually grasp your ideas. How did you make your ideas understood? Because typically I imagine that you were pitching men who are not the end user of your product. So how did you actually go into those spaces and give everybody the belief that you were really going to build something meaningful?
I'm going to pitch yours almost as if you are them.
Yeah, go on.
So that is actually
We're doing a Shark Tank.
Okay, let's go. It's an overcrowded space. It's ripe for disruption. 5 people own the world. It's not easy to choose. It's not easy to use. You've got a bunch of consumers that don't think they can look like certain celebrities. I'm an expert. I'm now seeing an opportunity to come up with some of these incredible innovation, incredible quality of products that don't exist on the market, so they aren't out there for consumers. And to make products that are quick and easy, speedy, easy makeup, coming up with new categories in makeup, and reinventing categories in makeup. So I reinvented powder, I reinvented setting spray, and I invented glow category in beauty. So all of these products are missing. Then if you think about the consumer, they go into, when they go into a store, they can't find they don't know what suits me, what do I choose? How do I get a look? What lipstick goes with what blush, with what eye makeup? So I immediately bring all of my expertise of all the red carpet, all the celebrities, all the models. I put it into 10 looks. I bring my backstage to the front stage, which basically I turn it into kind of, my incredible merchandising in my shop. So as a consumer then walks in, it's easy to choose. And when they get home, I then reimagine the technology.
Yes.
And so I'm then doing tutorials on every single product. I then have ended up I now have a CDO, and I end up creating an amazing beauty app where, give the customer what she wants, where she wants. So now we bring the shop to you. We do virtual try-ons. The dermatologists come up with a kind of AI that reads your skin. Bringing the shop to the consumer, giving the consumer what she wants, where she wants, however she wants it, and making it easy for her. But with the most luxurious, incredible products that are so easy, my 10-year-old son could do it. And I was obsessed with kind of crazy things. Like I looked around and I thought McDonald's was just genius. It was time is money, speedy, easy, quick looks. And I was like, that's so clever.
That.
And I just looked around and I was like Apple, Steve Jobs. I was like, he's just so brilliant. I like everything, the ergonomics of everything he created, the slickness, the ease of use, everything in the palm of your hand. So I was inspired by so many things outside of beauty.
I love that.
And I think that type of thinking, it was nothing to do with beauty. It was just imagining outside of beauty and then having my real expertise of blue sky thinking of when I was working with the laboratories. And I came up with so many bestsellers that they then said, please, will you innovate with us on just blue sky thinking and formulas? I'm obsessed with customer need states.
No, but I think it's so obvious that you are obsessed with customers. You said that you built things that just didn't exist. And I'm interested to understand the first gap you were obsessed with filling.
Yeah.
How did you know that was a need and that was something that customers would go after, especially when it doesn't exist?
Okay, so you look around and you would go, Instagram filters. Right, you're like, okay, I need an Instagram filter. I'm on the red carpet. I'm here with whoever, Salma Hayek, I'm on whatever. And you're like, I need an Instagram filter. I need it on the face, in the bottle, in harsh daylight. That's going to perform, speedy, easy, and it's going to look fabulous. Because women have no time. For me, I'm always looking at the world. Where is the economic state of the world? What are people going through? What do they need? What is the because it's all a reflection of everything that's going on.
It's all interlinked.
It's all interlinked. It's totally interlinked. So I think you realise what's happening in the world is it kind of, people are seeing filters. They're different types of filters. They're kind of like, they want to glow. They're on a beach, but it's in January. What do they want? What do women want? And actually always thinking, a lot of consumers, like when I created Hollywood Flawless Filter, which was this amazing glow that had never existed. It was a revolutionary product in the market. And actually, I remember at the time, some of the retailers were like, they were into it, but they were like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm like, because when you're disrupting and innovating, you have to sometimes really sell in your idea. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, you listen, crazy lady, you say stuff that works, and then it works, and then it sells out. Well, okay, we'll go with you. Well, I was like, Pillow Talk, I was like, Pillow Talk. Now that kind of, Hollywood Flawless Filter sells like one every 2 seconds. And Pillow Talk was a kind of a colour that is now the world's #1 lipstick and the world's #1 lip liner. And it was can you imagine? It was just a pinky nudie colour that I had just obsessed forensically over lips and the pigment in lips. And I was like, but it's a colour that had never existed before. And then it just goes, it goes like a viral whisper, and then you're selling one every 2 seconds. But it's that forensic examination of what do women want, what do women need, what do they wish they had, where's the consumer, where are they dreaming? I always say I'm selling pots of dreams and making dreams come true.
You know that time of year when everyone's calendars are full, the house smells like cinnamon, the kids are hyped on sugar, and somewhere in the background, someone's sniffling. Always. That's basically my house every holiday season. Between school events, family gatherings, and trying to keep up with work, cold and flu season always seems to hit right when things get the busiest. And honestly, as a mum, I've learned that the smallest comforts can make the biggest difference. For me, one of those little comforts is Kleenex lotion facial tissues. They're like this tiny active care made with skin-loving ingredients like coconut oil and aloe that actually help protect, soothe, and moisturize your skin. And during cold season, when noses and hands are getting wiped constantly, that matters. Instead of grabbing napkins or toilet paper that feel like sandpaper, I reach for Kleenex lotion tissues. They're gentle, they're effective, and they just make everyone a little more comfortable. Every year, I have this vision of a perfect holiday season, cozy matching pajamas, cocoa by the tree, carols in the background. And every year, reality looks a little more like one kid sneezing, someone else coughing, and me chasing tissues around the house while the dog eats half of what the toddler drops. It's chaos, but it's our chaos. And honestly, that's what makes it special. That's why I keep Kleenex lotion tissues in every room, the kitchen, the car, and every guest room, because you never know when you're going to need them. Whether it's to wipe a nose or to catch a few emotional tears when the family movie montage hits, Kleenex lotion tissues are there for all of it. And if you're a parent, half the battle is just getting your kid to use tissues instead of their sleeves. Kleenex lotion tissues feel soft enough that my kids don't complain, which honestly feels like a holiday miracle in itself. When you've got Kleenex, you're ready to face whatever the holiday season throws at you. The germs, the emotions, the laughter. It's such a simple way to take care of your family and yourself. So whether you're reminiscing about last year's colds that made the rounds, or you're prepping for another round of family gatherings this year, just know that Kleenex lotion tissues are the comforting ally you'll be glad to have nearby. Because let's be real, the holidays aren't about perfection. They're about showing up, sniffles and all, with love, laughter, and maybe a box of Kleenex in every room. You can't always predict how the holidays will go, but with Kleenex lotion facial tissues, you can be prepared for them. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex. When it comes to sales, efficiency is everything, trust me. Spending too much time manually entering data, tracking down documents, and managing follow-ups means so much less time closing deals. That's where today's sponsor, Pipedrive, comes in, one of the best CRM tools for small to medium businesses. Pipedrive supercharges the sales process with automation. Teams can automate nearly every step of their workflow, from scheduling sales calls to email marketing, allowing needs to be nurtured automatically while focusing on high priority tasks. Businesses using automations are working 40% faster and closing 3 times more deals per month. Pipedrive AI also adds super powerful insights. AI email tools that generate effective outreach and summarize long email threads, making communication that much more efficient. The AI can actually analyze a sales pipeline and highlight exactly where improvements can be made, essentially acting as a built-in sales coach. It's a powerful, simple CRM built by salespeople for salespeople. You really should join over 100,000 companies already using Pipedrive. Right now, when you use the link, you'll get a 30-day free trial. No credit card or payment needed. Just head to pipedrive.com/aspire to get started. That's pipedrive.com/aspire and you can be up and running in minutes. You know that moment when your hair actually feels alive again? That's what happens with Virtue Hair, luxury hair care powered by science and born from regenerative medicine. It delivers that salon-level luxury hair experience right at home with results that you can actually see and feel. Its secret? Alpha keratin 60Ku, a protein that's identical to the keratin that makes up our hair. It's clinically proven to repair damage, not by masking it, but by rebuilding your hair from the inside out. Heat damage, coloring, chemical treatments, Virtue reverses it all, restoring strength, shine, and resilience. With Virtue shampoos and conditioners, every wash acts as a restorative treatment, and Virtue's award-winning damage reverse serum, which, by the way, I use every day, instantly repairs up to 98% of split ends. Every formula is vegan, cruelty-free, and free of sulfates, parabens, and phthalates. Take Virtue's quick hair quiz at virtuelabs.com to find your perfect match and save 20% with code VIRTUE20.
And where do you get the inputs from? I'm very interested in that, because how do you know that what everybody is going to want is like this, you know, like super shine? How do you know that that's the exact right shade? Is that like a gut decision? Is that taking input from trend? Like where does that part come?
No, actually, I'm very intuitive, but I'm constantly scanning. My brain is like a scanner. So I'm constantly, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm scrolling on Instagram, whether I'm meeting people, whether I'm meeting consumers, where I'm looking at kind of just life on every level. It's not that I go to a trend book and suddenly discover, because that's like, then you're already, you're already late to the party, right?
If it's in the book, it's over.
It's over. It's over.
So I'm obsessed with the fact that you are the chairman and the chief creative officer. I mean, it's pretty nuts. Are these conscious decisions that you've made? Did it just end up like that? Like, are you just an obsessive?
I think I am a bit of a control freak, and I have to understand every single part of my business. And I've grown my business from zero to where it is today, and it's a big business. You know, we're kind of it's business. We're 3,000 people. We're 4,500 points of distribution around the world. So it's like, it's not a small business. When you've grown something from zero to where it is today, you have been in supply chain, in legal, in obviously product development always, marketing always, but your leadership team, your business, your vision, your mission, your strategy. And I think you don't grow something to this level unless you are forensically all over the detail. And I just kind of think any great founder really has sort of built that it's top down, bottom up. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like when I sit around with my leadership team, and you know that's grown and changed over the years. Sometimes they'll say, oh, no, we can't do that. I'm like, no, I know you can, because I did that job and I know how long that takes. And I'm very intuitive with things. My gut is always right. It's even when I'm looking at the P&L, like I'd say, you know, there's always room for improvement. How can you improve your cost of goods, etc., whatever it is. But you're looking at something and then it would just be like, something will take me to, I want to interrogate that. My CFO always says, you always ask me the most difficult question. We always go double prepared when we're with you.
I absolutely love that. But where did that come from? Because obviously, you know, working backstage as a makeup artist, like that is not what your skill set is, right? So how did you actually learn? I talk to a lot of young founders that say, I'm not good with the numbers. I don't understand the financials. Yeah. What did you do to learn it?
I think for me, it was just basically like, well, how difficult can this be? I'm not stupid. We're not stupid. I'm quite obsessed with numbers. So I kind of, but to a certain point, right? Okay, to a certain point. And also being a bit of a control freak. So then I was just like, well, how difficult can this be? And I'm never afraid to sound stupid. I don't care. I'm like, I want to go, why? I'm always like, who, what, why, where? Why? I never start asking those questions. I'm like, because I'm genuinely fascinated and interested.
There's a deep curiosity, but there is no shame with you. You don't mind looking stupid.
No, I don't mind. I don't care. And by the way, half the time when people go on about an abbreviation, I'm like, what is that? what does that actually mean? What does that, and then they can't
What's
even
the
tell you anyway.
LTV and
They can't,
CSR and
they
their
can't tell you anyway. They can't remember. They can't remember. Hysterical.
But I think that that's really important because, again, I think that a lot of female founders feel like they need to know everything and that they should be across everything. And what you're saying is, well, you didn't know, you learned, and then you asked a lot of questions.
What you didn't know, exactly. What you don't know, you learn. And by the way, you won't stop learning to the day you die. Now, with AI, with the consumer changing it as it is, I'm like, I can build my 3-year plans, get out my P&Ls, look at my strategy, look at my distribution, create my marketing, create my products, and then I got to trade my business. Because trading your business right now, that consumer is changing every goddamn week.
Every day.
Exactly. So it's every day. It's like, and you've got to meet them. So you've got to trade, you've got to talk to them, you've got to pivot, you've got to be agile, you've got to move, and that's the thing. This, even though we're really big, we have lots of sort of juxtapositions in the brand where it's kind of, you're like a heritage brand, but you're like an indie brand, but you're the agility of an indie brand. But people think of me because I've been in the fashion industry and beauty industry for 34 years. They think of me as a heritage
Very
brand.
interesting positioning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then it's like, right. But it's founder, expert led, but it's fun. And it's chic, but it's shouty, in terms of like the fun that we have with the marketing, the luxury positioning of it, but the inclusivity and the kind of, it's all these juxtapositions in the brand.
Yes.
That we kind of, that
you've been able to play with and that you've been able to really own to some degree.
Yeah. I design my packaging. I have an amazing team, by the way, that I kind of dream team.
Talk to me about the team.
I couldn't have done it without my team.
In the early days, if you take me back to those early days, and it's you and you have, the guy that helped with the business plan, you go out and you raise that first tranche of money, you know what products you want to do, you have this big, big vision. Who did you bring in then? I'm really interested to understand what moves you made that really helped you get this brand off the ground, and if there are things that you might have done differently.
I don't think I regret anything. I think some of the mistakes are fantastic sometimes. I think about, wanting to get my brand off the ground before I got my brand off the ground. And I kind of worked with somebody who, promised me to sort of do my brand, but it didn't really work out.
Aren't you so glad that didn't work?
And I'm like, thank you so much. I learned so much from you. And I wasn't ready to be that businesswoman that I became.
Fair. Was that a hard recovery for you, Charlotte? When you could see, my brand's about to happen and then it didn't, was that difficult?
You know what? I'm very good at kind of just basically dusting it off and just getting back up very quickly.
How do you do that? Because that's another place where I feel like people really falter. They think if they fail, that it's finite, that they can't go again. How did you pick yourself up and say, all right, I'm going to give this another crack?
Because I'm a great believer in you write your future. You write your future. And I'm a great believer in quantum thinking. I'm a great believer in creative visualization. I have unwavering self-belief. I do,
no
but
doubt.
We're all human. We're going to be challenged. We're going to be challenged. But in the face of adversity, you have to literally just be like, I believe, and I'm never going to give up. I'm going to stay focused. There's a reason. The reason the universe is doing this to me, they're putting this in my path. What do I need to learn? Where do I need to grow up? What do I need to do? Which way do I need to pivot? What do I need to look at? What am I not looking at? What am I not meeting? And I believe that adversity is put there to take us to where we need to go. And if you have big dreams, and I have big dreams, I'm like unapologetically, let's conquer the world. Why not? If you have that, well, then you're going to have to you're going to be thrown curveballs and, situations that you're going to have to kind of navigate to get to where you want to go to. But I believe that if you stay as optimistic and positive, then you will get to where you need to get to. And those are the building blocks that are put in place that are necessary for you to pivot and change and be agile to get to where you need to get to.
So, 1,000,000%. You don't have $1 billion brand without that type of thinking. That's clear. Do you think there's something that has made you very different from a lot of your contemporaries that have started brands? Because as you say, you really are considered like a legacy brand. I don't feel any different buying
I'm 12 years old.
I could go into Sephora tomorrow and pick up a Saint Laurent lipstick or, whatever brand and pick up yours. I feel exactly the same value there.
Well, better value, actually. Sorry, love you.
Sorry, babes. She is consumer obsessed, clearly. Actually, I'm $3 cheaper, but anyway.
No, the reason why is the quality. It's the quality and performance, because I can come up with the best marketing in the world. I can get the best investment. I can get the best position in the shop. At the end of the day, product is king, queen. That's it. And it comes down to the quality, the performance, the innovation. And then it's how you take that to market.
So you think that you make better products than everyone else?
Yeah, I do. My quality, my performance, It really is. It's known in the industry. I am known as like leading innovation in this industry. Wish some of them had more ideas. Be lovely.
You're like, I'll take that.
I'm like, hi, Jupers. I'm like,
you're like,
oh my
come on,
God.
everyone, call me me all the time.
The way that I test things, sometimes I've got 800 women testing foundations on them. Sometimes I've got things. I mean, my laboratories, they go, oh my God, your standards are ridiculous. I'm like, no. It's like I'm exacting. I'm a perfectionist as much as I can be.
How did you do that in the early days? Like when you couldn't, have a testing company testing 800 women.
We got models in, but we had all of our artists. So maybe we weren't testing 800, which we are now when we create a huge line of foundations. But when we had our 10 looks at the beginning, we were still testing on maybe like 20, 30, 50 cohort kind of, groups of women.
Was that important to you in the beginning,
really
that
important,
testing phase?
Yeah, but also it is important to me because, don't forget, I also have tested on thousands of women. So I have an algorithm in my brain that has captured eye colour, skin tone, hair colour, like literally thousands and thousands and thousands of faces, data in my mind. So I just know, do you know what I mean? Like by looking at someone, what colours they need, what colour skin tone, but that's undertone, overtone, that's already embedded in this algorithm of my brain, like a library.
I love that you say that, Charlotte, because your success, right? You've got the success of a brand that feels like it's been in the market for 50 years and it's only been 12. But it's actually everything that came before that. It's all of the experience. It's all of those backstages. It's all of that consultancy. It's every individual face. It's every little thing that you've done with your hands that led you to being able to be this successful now because you were excellent at what you did.
Exactly. And that's what I said. So I said I was going to be the best makeup artist. I was going to leave the best selling products in my wake. I was going to create the best brand with the best quality. I'm going to find the best laboratories. I mean, my scientists are probably going to be like, oh no, not her, because she's such a perfectionist. We'll be here for 20 years. And I tell you, some products, I've been working with some of these labs for 20 years because I was working before my brand with other things. And I'm like, we're still there, like blue sky for me. We're going to try. Who knows? But if they'll be ready to, before I die, if we'll even create some of them. Because, you have these crazy visions. It's whether the science will catch up with your vision.
Yes, yeah. Talk to me a little bit about leadership, because you don't get to where you are with the size of company you have without being an incredible leader. And it's very clear to me that creatively, you've got it. We might not be able to put our exact finger on it, but it's like from all the work you've done, your gut, it's like, that is clear. Charlotte is a creative genius in her space. But when it comes to running a business, it takes something very different. And I wonder if you would share maybe a leadership lesson that you've learned, something that you've learned the hard way.
I was like, let's rip up the rule book. This industry was ripe for disruption. It was done a certain way. Why do we have to do it a certain way? Why can't you, when I would go to Selfridges and be like, I want the kind of Apple, the store that Apple has, or the store that only Kasama, the artist, or LVMH, why can't I have it? I've got a dream. And so I would sell them in a dream and a vision of what I wanted. And I just don't understand the concept of no. I understand the concept of ripping up the rule book, rewriting history, but you got to out-create and you got to outthink. You cannot just be whiny and say, I want this because I'm fabulous. No, you have to out-create and outthink. You have to innovate and disrupt. So I have a North Star equation that sort of really is my mission and vision, really for how I kind of run the business. And that is basically product, tech, talent, community, media.
When you talk about your North Star, that's what you wake up thinking about?
That's what I wake up thinking about the whole time, because it's basically that customer journey. It's like, what product am I delivering? What content am I delivering to basically get through to my consumer? What talent am I talking to? Influencers? Am I talking to, communities, celebrities? Who am I talking to? The media, how am I kind of using that media? What form of media? What platforms? How am I disseminating that? How am I using that? What am I doing? Everything you do has to be through that lens, because how you're doing that kind of end-to-end consumer journey of, developing a product to kind of using all of those different mediums.
And so when you think about leadership lessons and the people that have helped you along the way, what does that really look like? Like, how did you build a team that can create $1 billion beauty brand?
Maria's been in product development with me. I mean, she's been with me for 20 years. 20 years. I mean, so many people have been with me for so many years.
And what's it look like right in the beginning?
I think some people you take and you train them. Yeah. Because it's like, it has a very particular voice, this brand. I mean, obviously kind of, there's me kind of at the face of it, but it's like, I've got a very particular language, style, the look and feel of the brand is, it's got a very particular signature and vision. So when you come here, the way I want to sort of speak to my consumers, the way I'm not a faceless conglomerate. I'm a live person. I'm an expert, an innovator. I'm a disruptor. I want to be agile. I want to think. If you're going to sit around my leadership table, we have to think in that way. You have to kind of, in that way where you're like, yes, you're a large company, but you've got to think like an agile disruptor. You've got to keep on innovating. So there's a business ethos to my brand, which is all about disrupt, innovate, embrace the challenge, share the magic, win together.
I love
so that it's really the mentality and the ethos of if you're going to be here, we have to kind of, because the consumer is changing all the time. I'm sort of unapologetically demanding of myself, maybe, and other people. I kind of feel like if you're here, that I attract these sort of amazing entrepreneurs, these kind of, they've all got that entrepreneurial spirit. They've all got the passion. They've all got that kind of drive to do something, to leave their mark in the world. And they are brilliant. And I really do have an incredible team. I have to say, I do work with some of the best people in the industry, and I'm incredibly grateful and honoured to be working with them, because it does take that kind of, everyone's very passionate that works, with me.
What does it take to come and work with you? Like, what are you looking for?
You have to be really good at your job.
Basically. She says, you got to be really, really, really good at your job.
You do.
That's just it.
That's it.
I mean, it's not that difficult.
No, it's not that difficult, but
sometimes?
you really do. Like, and it's known. It's known, like, if you work here, you are really good at it.
Because you have exacting standards.
Yeah. Listen, if you've got a mission to take over the world and create the best quality products on the market, and you want to disrupt and innovate, you've got to be showing up with your A game, right? Like, I've got to show up constantly.
Yeah.
I demand that of myself. You demand that of yourself. And the people, they naturally are like that. They're so brilliant. They come up, they are inspired. They are excited. They're passionate. They want to show up with their A game. They want to kind of deliver this brilliance as well. So I think that is very much the kind of the culture that I have fostered
I love that.
at the company. I'm really lucky to have such amazing people working with me. That same mentality, they really go the extra mile, and they really care.
And you must have had times where you get people that are not that great at their job, that don't care that much, that don't exhibit the passion. And again, as a female leader, sometimes it can be difficult to let go of, people that you had in the early days, the people that got you to that kind of 100 million, 200 million, 500 million for you. How have you dealt with the change of what, I'm envisaging? There are people that have been with you for 20 years, but not everybody stays on that journey.
No, not everyone stays on that journey. I mean, I think, listen, some people grow with you. And that's fantastic. And they want, as it gets bigger, the company, they've got to embrace the challenge. They've got to kind of grow, they've got to...
Everyone needs to up their game.
Some people want to do it and some people don't. And that's okay. Sometimes, maybe you've given people the wrong title sometimes, and maybe you realise that they don't want to, you just keep on moving.
You just keep on moving. You keep on moving. And you don't look back?
Don't look back and don't regret. I think you learn from your mistakes. As I said before, you kind of, mistakes can be there in a way that are kind of... are things that you need to kind of, they can be fabulous, and you learn from them.
Where did you decide in your business that you have certain strengths, but you needed other people to come in? How did you identify those decisions, and how did you bring people in the early days?
The early days, well, I think, basically, so I had, my amazing lead investor, Marcus Siri, who is brilliant. I think the person that has made the biggest difference to me would be my CFO. I have to say, he really, having the wrong CFO, which I definitely had at one point, was difficult.
Yeah.
And having the right CFO can game change your business, because it's a game changer when you look at that, when you're going through that P&L and you're being able to kind of, really get your margin to exactly where you need it to be, and all the opportunities. I mean, I always say, the health of your business is in the numbers, right? Everything is in the numbers.
Everything's in the numbers.
Everything's in the numbers.
It's not about innovation.
It's
not about product. It's in the numbers.
It's in the numbers. And I think having that and having, a great team around me in terms of that's been really helpful, because we're only one person, even though I kind of feel like I could do everything. You've got 100%. To kind of,
you're just one person.
But everyone around me, I have to say, I've got brilliant people in product development, brilliant people in packaging, brilliant people in, again, my CFO, but I am all over it with them. And I want to kind of, be very detailed in the business and asking those questions and really understanding it and but I think you have to, because I think art and commerce, this whole business I don't see creativity as one thing, numbers as another thing. It's art and commerce. They are soulmates. They feed in together. And you have to think, I think in a very kind of left, right brain way. And I sort of switch hats quite often. So I'll be looking at something with my creative hat, and then I'll be looking through at my commercial hat, and I'll be looking through merchandising hat, just lots of different hats of the way that I scan things, look at things.
But that's wonderful, Charlotte, because I think that, again, so many people, they say, I'm a creative, and then somebody else has to do everything else. And I don't think as a founder, you get that privilege. It's like you got to wear multiple hats, and you've got to have an understanding and an appreciation. Yeah. And it's very, very clear to me that what you've done so amazingly is be this like incredible creative that's learned enough about all the other facets of their business.
You have to. Yeah, I mean, you're doing supply chain right at the beginning, right? You're doing everything. You're doing. You're talking to legal. You're doing finance, legal, supply chain, product development, marketing. I mean, you're doing everything, right? So it's like that every part of it. Then you have this tiny team that then you grow. And then you grow and you grow and you grow and you get bigger and bigger. But when you have exacting standards, when you are consumer obsessed, when you are looking at what innovating and disrupting, what is the need state of a consumer, when you love challenge is opportunity. And I love being challenged. Like I very much foster that kind of culture of the brand as well. I love anyone for me has a great idea. I'm like, whether it's the intern or whoever, I'm just like, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I love to be challenged I'm very unhierarchical as well. And so
Can you be challenged in the business then?
I love to be challenged. My favorite thing is to be challenged because that's what I want. Because for me, either if I'm challenged, it either hones my argument or it makes me think differently.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason. I'm like, tell me why you don't think it will work or why you don't think it will work. So then it's like, changes, it makes you think in a different way. And that I find really exciting.
How do you foster that culture? How do you foster a culture where the boss can be challenged?
Oh God, I love it. I'm like, I literally, no, but I invite that around the table. I think it's really important. I think it's like really, really important. And I'm not hierarchical in that way.
No,
I'm just
you don't seem like that.
It's that time of year, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday madness. And while most brands have sales throughout the year, Merit only has one, and it's happening right now. So if you've been eyeing their minimalist, elevated beauty staples, this is your sign to stock up. I've been using Merit Beauty for a while now, and their products have truly become my everyday go-tos. The Flush Balm is my favorite. It gives that effortless, healthy glow that looks fresh and never overdone. And on those no makeup days, their signature lightweight lipstick gives me that put together look in literally seconds. What I love most is how simple and intentional everything feels. Merit's formulas are clean, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, and they're packed with skincare ingredients that actually make your skin feel so much better over time. These are products that you will use down to the last drop. I know because I do. Merit's annual sale is on now until December 1st. Get 20% off site-wide, plus a gift with purchase with every order while supplies last at meritbeauty.com. That's MERIT beauty.com. meritbeauty.com. If you want to have your healthiest year yet and become the most vibrant version of yourself, start here, cleaning up your skincare products. They're rooted in time-tested traditional perspectives that honor ancient wisdom, animal-based products, and clean living education to guide you in creating non-toxic rhythms and transformative results in your daily life. From farms, forests, and fields, they source ingredients that are regeneratively grown, organic, and wildcrafted wherever possible. Nature has given us everything we need. No chemicals, fragrance, or filters needed. They are wildly passionate about providing research-backed, results-driven products without compromising your health. Backed by thousands of 5-star reviews and unbelievable before and after photos, their products are proven to create positive change in your skin and sense of wellness. Swapping for natural options is a must if you want to feel good and glow from the inside out. And Primarily Pure has harnessed the power of natural ingredients in their complete line of non-toxic beauty products, from skin, body, baby, hair, and home. And you can't forget their cult-following natural deodorant and tallow skincare products. Primarily Pure products are handcrafted with real, raw ingredients to optimize your results and your overall health. Use code ASPIRE to get 15% off your Primarily Pure purchase. That's www.PRIMALLYPURE.com and use code ASPIRE at checkout for 15% off your order. You know, one thing that's never changed in business is the need to stay close to your customers. Today, that means being everywhere they are, on Instagram, TikTok, or wherever the conversation is happening. With Shopify, I can do exactly that. Their integrations make it easy to connect with audiences in real time, creating loyalty and trust that lasts. I love that you don't need a full tech team to make it happen. Shopify brings everything together. Online sales, pop-ups, social channels, so that I can manage it all in one place. And whether it's an emerging brand or a household name like Skims or Good American, Shopify powers it all, making it simple to scale while staying authentic. Plus, their AI tools like Shopify Magic feel like having a team in your back pocket, helping write product descriptions, plan content, track trends, all without the chaos. If you want to meet your customers exactly where they are and grow your brand with ease, Shopify makes it seamless. Ready to build your own empire? Head to shopify.com/aspire and get started today.
Do you think that you could do what you've done and build what you've built again now? In
Yes.
this time?
In this time.
Starting today?
Yeah, I do. I think, because there's even more opportunity now. I mean, think about it. Social media was just starting when I started my brand. I always say, necessity is the mother of all invention.
Oh, ain't it just?
And it's like, and again, whenever you look at that space, with a white space, whether it's even today, when you're, the reason I'm still so excited and so passionate about this brand is there's so much room to still innovate, disrupt, create. And whether or not some of those products will even be within my lifetime, but I'm doing some of them. I've got a pipeline. I'm excited about meeting the consumer. I'm excited about the technology of being able to give her what she wants, where she wants, through that.
How do you stay this excited? Because it's so palpable with you. Yeah. Like all these years later, you are this excited about what you do.
I am so excited.
How is that?
I have disrupted the beauty industry. I have led the way for many beauty entrepreneurs. England never had a company. The Germans had it, the French had it, the Americans had it. But we didn't have it. I want to create a great British beauty empire. To do that is so exciting. And then to do it where it kind of went all the way around the world and kind of, and the products resonate everywhere. You have the number ones in each category. You have number one powder in the world, or the number one lip liner, the number one powder, or the number, that is so exciting. You know what is more important to me than anything is the purpose behind my brand. Because the reason I really do it, yes, that's euphoric. To kind of succeed in business, it gives you the most incredible feeling of gratitude. You know that feeling, Emma, that feeling of gratitude, the high I get. Having had this brand has given me unbelievable feelings of euphoric gratitude. Of literally, it is so amazing. But that I am so grateful for. But actually the purpose behind it is to make everyone look and feel like the most beautiful, confident, empowered versions of themselves. Because if you can change that one person, you change a community, you change a world. It's like the reason people make it in life and don't make it is confidence. It is confidence. And it's the beauty is just, it's so underrated. It's like, and it was so important to me to kind of make people feel that it is not to demystify it, and it is not superficial
at all.
And it is, that societal value of beauty is so, because we are the human race. We judge ourselves. We look in the mirror, we judge ourselves. Oh, you look tired, you look exhausted, you're this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good day, I'm gonna have a bad day because of the way I look.
Exactly. And to give people that confidence, I've all the stories that I get from so many people who I've met, and these thousands of people now that I meet everywhere, and they out at parties DM me, write to me, kind of whatever. All these gorgeous customers. Talk about how clinging to a lipstick has really changed their life, and whether it's clinging to a Pillow Talk lipstick that just made them feel, that confident, that empowerment to be able to manifest their dreams. And that is so important to me. And people, it is so underrated how, it's not about the makeup, the skincare, or the fragrance. It's about the feelings, and it's about how people feel. And we want a world that is more positive and confident and happy and bringing joy to everyone. And that is why I am so passionate to this day to deliver that to people and give them things that they never thought they could. And coming from the world that I came from, which was working with all these amazing celebrities and VIPs and supermodels and everything, and people just feeling, I am less than. It's like, no, we are going to democratize this. We are going to make this easy for you. We are going to give you the tools to empower you to feel those feelings, to feel like the most beautiful, confident version of yourself.
I mean,
and that is the reason I am so passionate about doing this and the legacy and the mark I want to leave on this world to help people. Honestly, and that's that feeling of when people come to you to say, this has helped me change my life, this has made me feel this way. Honestly, I'm so grateful and so honored.
I mean, it shows. I think it shows in everything you do. I think it shows in every piece of content you put out, in every like new product launch, in everything that I own that is Charlotte Tilbury.
I love you.
Because I think it's really true. And, you know, we just had Simon Sinek on this show and he talks about, so the guy that wrote Start With Why. Yeah. And so it's so clear to me, you could put every brand in the world and split them down the middle and say, here are the brands that have an extremely clear why, and here is everything else. And for me, Charlotte Tilbury is just, first of all, it's the living, breathing product embodiment of you as a person, right? Like your vision, you're this incredible, strong woman. You're so passionate about what you do, but you have a why. Like you were doing all of these like things, the shows, the consultancy, because you had a deep why inside you, and you've just lifted that into your brand. And I think that a lot of young founders really have to understand that it's got to be about so much more than just building a business, making money, figuring some product out.
Totally.
Like to be truly successful and to have the success that you've had for this long and to have so much runway in front of you, that comes from something much, much, much deeper. It's a purpose.
It's a purpose. It's a purpose. It's the purpose. I didn't start this just to make money. Yes, money is a measure of your success. You know, money gets you respect in the business world. Money is a marker of that. But for me, it's a much bigger, higher purpose. And that is the reason. I think I've been blessed, and I think that, you know, I have this incredible team and have been able to create amazing things. Sometimes scientifically they didn't think could happen. I've always had, my parents sort of taught me this as a creative visualization really as a child, and that kind of belief mindset that you don't have to limit yourself, that you can think limitlessly, you can do anything you want in the world. And, you know, I remember, you know, working with one of the people I work with, and they came in, I was like, I make everyone read the kind of, you know, the book, The Secret. I'm like, you have to believe in creative visualization. I do. I was like, so we've got a bit of a movement and a community. If you work here, I'm like, you've got to like, get rid of your limitations in your mind. We can do anything.
Very Natalie Massenet of you.
Do not limit yourself. Really? Does she do the same?
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
She was the one who gave me that book.
Oh my God,
like
I love
literally,
that.
like creative visualization back in the day, and then The Secret. And I was like, I am drinking this Kool-Aid. It worked for her.
Hello. Exactly. Look at us.
Like, okay, girl.
I'm on the burn. Go. I know.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the thing that you're not driven by.
Yeah.
Money.
I'm not driven by money, but the fact is that that is a measure of success and respect. So it's like, it's not that I'm not driven by it. It's like, of course, it's like, for me, it's very important. I'm like, if I'm going to build a dream, I want to be honored for that dream, and I want that marker of success. But the fact is, it's not only about money. It is a higher purpose. It is something that I want to make people think, you know, believe that they could live a certain dream that they didn't think that they could have, and deliver these pots of dreams that we're kind of, you know, selling them and making dreams come true. So, you know, I always say that. They're little pots of dreams, that I'm selling pots of dreams, that making dreams and, you know, making them come true.
I think it's very clear that you have a brand that's rooted in purpose.
But of course you want to be successful and conquer the world, and it has to be kind of like...
Let's talk about that, because I have a lot of female founders on this show, and not that many that want to talk to me about money. And Charlotte, I like to talk about money.
Good.
I think if we avoid the subject of money, it really avoids us. So let's get into it. You've made a few quid, and I really want to understand your relationship to money now, because when you're a global brand and when your name is associated with this big, like billion-dollar brand, like things change a little bit, and people change sometimes around you. And I wonder if anything has changed for you now that you've got a few quid.
As I said before, money is a validation of your success, right? Which is, we love. Great.
You didn't grow up with loads of money, though, right?
No, I mean, my parents weren't poor, but it was like, fine. We had a kind of, you know, quite a glamorous lifestyle, but it wasn't quite bohemian. Mm-hmm. It's like my grandparents were fairly wealthy. We won't go down that kind of one got disinherited, whatever. but you know, so they kind of, you know, so I did have a fairly kind of bohemian but quite glamorous lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes people try and charge you more money because it's you. It's like Tilbury tax. You're like, really? It's like, but you know what?
I didn't feel haircut just cost $4,000.
But the fact is you didn't build an empire by not being an astute businesswoman, right? So when they do try and do that, you're like, I know the price of milk. I know the price of what things cost. I have a budget for my kind of my home life as well as my business life, and I look through that P&L just as much, and I look through every single penny and make sure that it's working for itself. I love to be really generous. I'm philanthropic. I do kind of support charities, the King's Trust, which now you're an ambassador of, which is so amazing. I mean, lots of, different kind of missions that obviously it's really important to me to give back if you're blessed in life. And you're able to do that in the Clooney Foundation for Justice as well. I kind of work with them, which is amazing what they do. I think my main thing is I still have the same group of friends, right? My life hasn't really changed. I'm really close to my family. I've got the same group of friends that I've always loved. Yes, I've made new ones and fabulous ones because I love people. I don't want to change, to be honest with you. I quite like just being me. I like to be feet firmly on the ground.
You like to be feet firmly on the ground. Is there anything that having money has taught you about yourself?
I don't feel any different. I genuinely don't. I like to be exactly the same. It's just who I am. I don't want to feel like, why do you suddenly have to feel different because you have money?
Fair.
It's like, why do you have to change? Why? Why do you have to do that? So why can't you just be the way you've always been? I mean, yes, maybe the builder wants to charge you more money for something, but that's going to be, they can try, but it's a no.
Do you manage your own money?
I do manage my own money, and I do have managers that kind of that work with me. Yeah.
Are you someone who is are you a gambler at heart, or are you someone that likes to keep and invest your money? Like, is it something that you look at and you're like, I need to make this money work for me, or is that not?
A gambler, I am not. Some people might say I gambled creating this brand, but for me it was very measured risk. It wasn't kind of like for me it was like, well, that's definitely going to happen. So I wouldn't say I'm not a gambler, but I'm a risk taker. When I take risk, it's very measured. Like if I'm really going to put something behind it.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to managing my money, you have people who manage your money because when you have a certain amount of wealth, then you kind of have to do that. So there are people,
no doubt.
But I do look at every single penny in my home life and in my work life. The health of your life or your business or even your home life, the numbers will tell you.
The numbers are going to tell you everything.
And they will give you the opportunity. Exactly,
yeah.
They'll give you the opportunity.
It's clear to me that your personality is such a huge part of who you are and what your brand is and how informed your brand is by who you are at the very kind of heart of it. Do you feel like your individuality has been a superpower for you?
I always think people should just be themselves. I don't understand this thing of imposter syndrome. I don't get it. My parents were quite visionary, I realised. They sort of sent me to a Rudolf Steiner school. They sent me to, with a guy who actually taught us about astrophysics and quantum physics. I was like, when I was 11 years old, it was so nice. It was
really visionary.
Yeah, they were really visionary.
Creative visualization.
I look at this book and I'm like, I was 11. I was like, how do I even understand any of this? I didn't even know how I go. It was crazy.
Are you a similar type parent?
I'm in England. They were in Ibiza. It was just a different time.
Different
Schools. But I do try to teach them about, you've got to believe in, the kind of self-fulfilling prophecy of the magical chain reaction of confidence and trying your best and just putting your best foot forward in life. And, I do try and talk to them about creative visualization and how to not limit themselves. That mentality of what my parents taught me was really important. I do try to instill that in them. One of them's a teenager.
They're not really listening
to me. So my parents were always like, be yourself. That was like their mantra. Don't try and be anyone else. And I think when you are growing up, you hang out with different crowds, maybe you try to kind of be something you're not. And actually very quickly they were just no. They were always always be honest. Kind of honesty is the best policy. And I think that whole thing of when you are yourself and when you are honest, I think it really empowers you.
Have you always had that confidence?
I have pretty much always had that confidence. I think I was kind of born this way. Then my mother also always just, thank God, I mean, as mothers do, darling, she just told me I was fabulous. Thank God for mummy. She just said I was fabulous. So I believed her. I believed her.
I am fabulous. My mum said I am.
No, really. But, somewhere, when I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs, Jimmy Iovine, there's always one parent that tells you you're amazing.
You are
right?
1,000,000% right about that. Everyone who comes on this show, and I think even in my own life, it's like they had a mum or a dad or someone who said, listen, you're special.
Yeah.
You need to lean into that.
Yeah.
My mum always used to say, Emma, you're not better than anyone else, but nor is anyone better than you. And I really believed it. I was like,
right?
No one's better than me. And growing up in England,
but why does anyone have to?
But there's such a class society in England, but I never felt that because I was really taught that no one's better than me. And so it's so important. And I think if you can be that someone in someone's life, like how incredible, because at the end of the day, what your brand is doing is giving so many women that type of confidence. And so I think it's really interesting that you were raised that way, and it's so clear. You sit with you for 5 minutes and you're like, you know, if you leave the room and people say anything, it's, wow, what confidence she has. You know, when you think about confidence and individuality and it being a business trait and not just a personal trait, how do you think you've managed to weave that into your business so successfully?
I think that's my premise. Life is about confidence. That's why I created this brand. It's why I do what I do. It's when people sit in my makeup chair and they put makeup on, I can see their confidence, their heart, they sit up straighter. You know about neuroplasticity. Like, I have trained my mind. Darling, when you walk around with red hair, sweetie, it's like, I mean, darling, you know, you get teased, you get bullied, but that's...
You don't say.
You don't say, darling, you don't say. Exactly. So, you know, you'll have your kind of, you stand out, like you always stand out. I've always stood out. And with that can be positive and negative, but then you're just like, you have one parent who just tells you you're fabulous. You drink the Kool-Aid and believe it. All human beings suffer from insecurity, right? All. And so when you think about that, there'll be moments and then you're just like, I've trained my mind to just believe in myself and be positive and optimistic. I speak to myself in a certain way. I train myself in a certain way. I show up. I work hard. I work really hard. I have created my success. I have created my luck. I have done that, and I am very grateful, but I am not a slacker. So, like, you know, and I deserve it because of what I've done. You know, it's like, it's 34 years of winning awards and going for it and working 18-hour days and working weekends and sacrificing certain things. And, you know, but it's not life for everyone, but I love it. I love it, and I've had a good time, and I've got a lot of energy. So I can, you know, I can party, I can go out. I can party. I can party, darling.
She can party. I've been to those parties. You know, you wait and you wait and you wait. You go to Ibiza every year, and then one day she knows who you are, and you're like, I'm in.
Oh my God.
It's so funny. What do you say to women though? Because obviously not everybody is born with that confidence. Not everybody has that person in their corner that gives them that self-belief. No. And I do think that oftentimes we're told like not necessarily to stand out, right? Like to tone ourselves down. So what do you say? Do you think that women need to tone themselves down to be taken seriously? And how do they do it otherwise? Like what do you do instead?
I know there's this person I sort of, you know, I was working with said that they were in a company where they said they had to choose, I mean, this is years ago, they had to choose makeup or high heels. And I was like, to be in a business world, I'm like, count us out. Yeah, exactly. But I think we're living in a slightly different world. I think we're living in a slightly different world now. People will say to me, don't be fooled by the laughter, right, with me. And it's like, we're astute, we're smart, we're businesswomen, we've created empires. Why can't I laugh? Why can't I dance? Why can't I wear high heels? Why can't I wear sexy outfits? I just want to be unapologetically me. Why can't I be sexy and charming and naughty and funny and bright and a businesswoman? Like, why not? I definitely have been underestimated, but, you know, that's been a superpower too. I've used that. So I'm like, you know, it's like, if you want to underestimate me, no problem. I'm like, go right ahead. That's actually kind of, I can win, you know. So you just, I'll prove it.
It's completely amazing.
It is. So I think live life to the full, be yourself. And I don't think you should apologize for who you are and try and be something you're not. Because actually, I think it comes out in your energy and your frequency.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that people we have got that animalistic instinct where people pick up on that. They can pick up on something where you're not being authentic. And authenticity is 40 times more powerful than the love frequency, right? 40 times more powerful.
Meaning that we're so much more attracted to authenticity.
Yes, and also imagine today's world of social media and where we're at and what through
so much BS.
It's like, it's just that authenticity cuts through so much more. So,
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that because you can feel it, right?
You can feel it.
You can smell
exactly.
it. I want to ask you about what has given, like what have been your trade-offs? Because it's really my belief that when you've had a career like yours, when you've been so successful, there's always some underbelly to it, right? And I wonder what you've given on the other side of all of your success.
Not everyone has as much energy as I do, right? Like I'm not being funny. When I was doing all the, you know, every single fashion show, flying around the world, doing 18-hour days, I'd still go out. And everyone else will go to bed.
I know that too.
Right? And everyone else will go to bed. So not everyone wants to do that. I'm like, why? I'm like, I'm going to have it all. I'm like, I'm going to have a fabulous business. I'm going to be the, world's whatever, like arguably top makeup artist. I'm going to basically go out. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have a family. Why not? Definitely there have been times when, would I have liked more sleep? Yes. Would I have liked more time? Yes.
You didn't give anything in relationships? You didn't, there was I'm trying to understand, because it's my belief that you can have it all. You can't have it all of the time. And I know that you are someone who really put the hours in, Charlotte.
Really
you worked. You're not somebody who's just did a 4-hour shoot. You went back to back to back to back to back. You did all the shows and then you were
non-stop.
And those were amazing days, and it's all wonderful backstage, but it's also hard graft. I do think that there is, when you're building a business, it's not all wonderful and magic. There's some kind of shit that goes down.
I've missed parties, I've missed weddings, I've missed times that I really wanted to show up for my friends that I wasn't able to be there. But on the whole, listen, time. I always want more time, because I'm just like, I'm a 24/7 girl. We're on this earth for such a short period of time, and there's so much I want to do and so much to achieve. But somehow we bent time. I don't know how I've done it, but literally...
it will be mine.
It will be mine. I will work for I will party. I will kind of go out for 20 hours. But that's kind of, whereas most people don't want to do that. Honestly, I don't have regrets. Listen, the few times, a couple of weddings of really good friends of mine, I was just like, I really wish I'd been there.
Yeah.
And a couple of fun times where I was like, amazing parties, people having a great time, but there's always another party. Maybe there's not always another wedding. Now I do kind of prioritize being there for my friends, because they are so there for me. Am I at every play my kids play at school? No, I'm not. But I'm not at the school gates every morning either, but I'm just not that mother. The mother that I am is I will show up for your major sports day or your kind of musical event or whatever it is. But otherwise, I am building an empire, and I am happy, and I am fun, and I'm not you know what I mean? And so we're just...
How old are your kids?
So my kids are 16 and 11.
And so your kids were little while you were building the empire. They were toddlers.
No, like toddlers. 1 year... I got divorced, remarried, had another baby, and launched my brand in America and moved house in 1 year.
I went to a lot of parties.
I remember just being like, oh, maybe a bit off more than you can chew this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I guess your kids have never known any different. Your kids have always known you to be mummy that leaves, works, travels, does what she needs to do.
The holidays. I try to take the holidays, and I try to kind of and be present. I'm very much that kind of mindset where I'm very present in whatever I'm doing, whether I'm in business, I'm obsessing about business, and I'm totally focused in the room. Mm-hmm. I'm not very attached to my telephone. I'm very totally focused. Or I'm very in the moment of whatever I'm doing, whether I'm having fun or whether I'm doing, whether I'm working or whether I'm kind of with the kids. It's sort of try to be kind of very present in whatever that is.
Did you ever suffer with mum guilt?
No, I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in guilt. I believe we show up in life, we do our best, and that's it. I just don't believe in it. Throw the guilt in the bin. As long as I'm trying my best, because I am... I really love my kids. I'm really family orientated. But have I been there all the time? No. But would I like to have been there a bit more? Yes. But at least we really love each other, and love conquers all. And all you need is love, as that's what my father always used to say to me. All you need is love, and that's it. So I'm and as long as I'm a happy mother, do you know what I mean? I think, and I turn up to the right moments, then I feel like I'm doing my best. We're going to have a good time.
Today's segment is brought to you by Bumble, the go-to dating app for finding love. You all know that I'm a big believer in building things that last, in business, in family, but especially in relationships. And the truth is, dating can feel totally overwhelming. That's why I've noticed so many of my friends and people in my circle turning to Bumble. They've been listening to their community and making changes that actually build trust. And with optional ID verification, you've got the added reassurance that their photos and their age are real too. So no catfish here. I keep hearing the same perspective. Bumble just feels more intentional now. Profiles highlight the things that you have in common right away. So it's easier to see if someone aligns with what actually matters to you. And I love that they've added the dating advice hub in the app. It's like having a dating expert in your pocket. It's a reminder that dating doesn't have to feel overwhelming. You can take your time, you can laugh at yourself and focus on what feels right for you. So if you've been thinking about the idea of finding love, maybe, just maybe, this is your sign. Bumble's making dating safer, more intentional, and honestly, so much more fun. And isn't that the whole point? Start your love story on Bumble.
You've probably heard it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. And I've realised that that's true not just in life, but how you move through it. You need to set an example, take the lead, and adapt to whatever comes your way. That's why I love the Range Rover Sport. It's a car that matches that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear that this isn't just a car, it's a statement. Inside, you'll find innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation, creating a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. It's dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, reflecting the way I like to drive and live. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
These days, it's easy to feel drained, stressed, and out of balance, but that's where Symbiotica comes in. Their supplements are designed to help the body perform at its best, naturally and effectively. Symbiotica's formulas combine science and, so importantly, clean ingredients to support everything from focus and energy to glowing skin and better sleep. For example, the Shilajit Liquid Complex, flavored hazelnut cacao, helps improve cognitive function, boost cellular energy, and balance your hormones. Their liposomal glutathione in citrus berry flavor, which is quite possibly my favorite supplement, promotes glowing skin, gut health, and healthy aging, thanks to faster nutrient absorption through liposomal delivery. And magnesium L-threonate with a smooth vanilla cream flavor, that supports your focus, calm, and restful sleep, which we all need. Every product is carefully crafted with bioavailable nutrients, and the convenience of their monthly delivery makes staying consistent so easy. For anyone looking to elevate their daily wellness routine, like me, Symbiotica offers a simple, effective way to start feeling better from the inside out. Go to symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping. That's symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping.
Charlotte, what are the biggest lessons that you've learned when you look at your career and your life, and what a career?
It's like,
what have you learned, and what would you say to young founders, young women that want to emulate what you've done and have the same type of success as you have now?
I think my motto in life, and this is what I live by and stand by, is dare to dream it. Dare to believe it, most importantly. And then dare to do it. Because I think the biggest difference in life is that people have a dream, but they don't even try. And if you don't try, you'll never know. And if you just believe in that, if you just one step in front of the other, building blocks, just try your best. That's what I say to my kids, just try your best. It's all you can do. And then literally it just starts to happen, and never give up, and always believe. And embrace the challenge. And challenge is opportunity. And don't see it in a negative way. And rewire your brain. Rewire your brain to think optimistically and to think about challenge as opportunity, and drive yourself there. And you will achieve your dreams. I mean, when I think of the Einstein quote, which I basically die and live by, because he understood a thing or two, old Einstein.
One or two.
No, exactly. Which he said, like, his thing was, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. So we all resonate at an energy. Mm-hmm. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you will get that reality. There can be no other way. Right? And that's it. The universe doesn't speak Mandarin or English or anything else, or French. It speaks energy. Frequency and energy. And so if you resonate at believing, if you're authentically who you are, and you don't lie, and you basically are unapologetic about who you are, why should you feel ashamed or insecure? Like, show up, love yourself. It's like, and train yourself, because there's plenty of people who will tell you you're not fabulous. Plenty of people will tell you that you can't do things. I mean, I have had that. I've been told, I've been teased. I have been told I am crazy. I have been told I won't, what am I doing? I'm mad. Do you know what? Whatever, the naysayers, thank you, goodbye. And literally rewire your brain to optimism. You just carry on your chain. You see your white space, you keep going, you do what you need to do, and it will come true. Your dreams will happen.
You have the mindset of an absolute champion. That is it. I need it on our bronzer, on our blusher. I want it to be like, dream it, believe it, do it. And every day I'll be like, Charlotte said. Like, but
it's the winner's mindset, right? It is anyone. You've got it. Everyone. It's the winner's mindset. Look at all those athletes. As I was saying, this person that I was working with, when I gave them the Rhonda Byrne, The Secret, they're like, oh my God, this rubbish creative visualization. What is this thing that you're talking about? Like woo, whatever. And I was like, this is real. This is the secret codes to life, to success. This is it. And they read it and they came back and they said, Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. It was considered to be humanly impossible. He didn't have the lung capacity at the time. They didn't think that it was humanly impossible to do. And he believed he could, so he did. And that is the same. It's the same thing that Einstein's talking about. We're all energy, match the frequency doesn't speak anything else but frequency. What is frequency? Feeling, feel it, manifest it, and then it will be. There can be no other way.
I believe this to my core.
Exactly.
I can't even, I know it. First of all,
you've done it.
Look
to
at
be
you.
true. All the amazing things that you've done.
I know it to be
true. And all
true.
the amazing things that you've achieved. You and I think the same way. Anyone that's achieved anything in life, they all think the same way. People will still come tell you you're crazy, you're this, that, and the other, and you're like, okay, whatever. But and positive thoughts and optimism. I talk about, lucky girl syndrome, right? Yeah. You know about this. And it's a thing that kind of picked up on TikTok. But actually, lucky girl syndrome is something that you and I have done for years. We have rewired our brain, neuroplasticity, to literally optimize, to just think positive, like a negative thought comes in, out, positive. What are we doing? What are the building blocks? Where are we going? And then up. And then the reality, that becomes our reality. Mm-hmm. It's like conceive, believe, receive. You end up receiving. And so and you're wiring your brain in that way. And that's what I always tell people, that you can do it. And you know what's amazing about rewiring your brain is you can do it fast, really fast. That's that whole quantum thinking. It can change like that, and that's what people don't realise.
I love that you say that. We had Tracy Ellis Ross here, and she says, Emma, I manifest real fast. And we all were just like, because when you know it, and that's part of your routine, and that is your default way of thinking, it can happen really fast.
Really fast.
Charlotte,
it doesn't need to take time. You are the blocker.
You are the blocker.
Yeah. You are the only person. And what people don't realise in life is actually, I remember, a friend of mine just broken up with someone, and I was saying, you know what? The problem is not the other person. It's you. And wherever you go, whether you're going to marry a fisherman or a banker or whatever, it's like, it's you. What are you searching? What is the mirror in life that you're kind of searching for? Or how's that showing up? What is it that you need to change within you?
I believe this. I mean, I've just written a book called Start With Yourself. I mean,
oh my God. Is that what
it all starts here, right? I mean, it's so true. What do you think if you had to choose the red thread that goes through your life, through your career, through your success? What is it? What goes through your entire story?
I think unwavering belief, and visualization of what I wanted. I was very clear as a young child. It was probably I was very young when I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew I wanted to be a makeup artist at 16. I didn't become a makeup artist until I was go to makeup school about 18 and a half. I wanted to always create a brand. I knew that pretty early on. I was fortunate enough to kind of know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do very early on. Mm-hmm. And then really set out about kind of really achieving it and just never giving up, never give up. Never give up, and self-belief. And train your brain. Everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. Emma, you and I just don't come from a different planet. Yes, we had amazing parents that told us we're amazing. Yes, we believed. We trained ourselves. We worked hard. You and I probably couldn't read a piano. We're both dyslexic. I'm like, but we learned to do it. And we became amazing businesswomen that built empires. So why, anyone can do it. And that's my point. They have to look at you and I and be inspired in the way that I'm inspired by so many other people. You're inspired by other people. If we could do it, so many other people can do it.
So many other people can do it.
And I love that, since I launched my brand, thousands of people I mean, I literally disrupted the industry of 5 conglomerates. And then I literally went, they were like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And it went thousands and thousands and thousands of brands literally around the world kind of, coming.
You must love that, no?
I do. I love, and do you know what I love? I really love celebrating female entrepreneurs and just entrepreneurs in general. It's so amazing to have, innovated, disrupted, and to led the way for so many great people and to grow the pie and grow the industry. There's enough room for everyone.
Oh, there's enough room for everyone. And so many people credit you. Again, I speak to so many young founders that are like, I did this because I saw Charlotte Tilbury did it.
Anastasia Beverly Hills come up to me and be like, you launched like 5 people in the world and then thousands, 3,000 brands launched after you and now it's thousands and thousands. But it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to do that. What we both have is like bravery and courage. I think you have to, and that it goes back to feel the fear and do it anyway, right? We've all felt that insecurity. We've all felt that kind of fear at some point, but we've all taken the courage to I'm just going to do my best. And I just believe that, and then what people also underestimate is that practice makes perfect.
Oh, it so
it's like,
does.
I wasn't the businesswoman I am today 10 years ago.
Talk about 10,000 hours. I mean, you might have put 100,000 hours in. No?
Definitely done a few MBAs.
10,000 fashion weeks.
University of Life.
You know what I love so much about you, and I just had this conversation with Simon Sinek, so I'm not gonna steal it, but I think that the true mark of a great leader, of a great founder, a great entrepreneur, yes, is courage. But it's courage coupled with integrity, as he would say.
Yes,
and I think that what comes across in you, Charlotte, and I know this because I've known you for so many years, you have such unbelievable integrity. And when I met you as like literally a child backstage gaffering wires to the floor so you didn't trip over, back in those old days, you were so kind. You were so like eyes. Hello, girl on the floor. How are ya? Here's some shit from my kit. Like you were so nice to everyone. And I think that you have a lot of integrity, not just in your work and in your incredible craft that you've turned into this business, but as a person. We all know that Charlotte Tilbury is Charlotte Tilbury. And I think that goes a really, really long way. And I don't think that I sit opposite many people and feel like this level of happiness for their success. Like you deserve
thank you
all
so
your
much.
success.
Well, I feel
You're
it
mesmerising.
too. Both of us have known each other. I mean, look at what you've created. And look at you've inspired so many women. Even I sit there and go, how does she do it all? 3 empires. I'm like, I've got 1. I'm like, and you've got 3. I'm like, and then you've got 3 kids. I've got 2 kids. I'm like,
4 now.
Emma is a legend. Emma's a legend. I'm like,
no, it's too much. Right, like, Charlotte, you spoke a couple of times about being customer obsessed, but what does that actually look like in real terms?
I think for me, being customer obsessed is looking at the need state of a consumer, number 1. Looking at the white space in the market, looking at thinking about what they need before they know that they need it. And then it's that emotional connectivity to the consumer. I think one of the, superpowers of why my brand has done really well, it's that, as we talked about authenticity, we talked about being completely who you are and how that really resonates with people. I love my community, and I think, and I really kind of, it's so important to me to connect emotionally with them. And I think if you think about it today, how do you market in an incredible way? And it is that mass intimacy that is really important to me. I really consider them to be all my friends, and they're my darlings, right?
And they love you,
and I love them. And so it's that. And that emotional connectivity is so important for me to switch on and turn on, with that consumer.
Well, it's so clear that they really trust you, right? You have this trust thing going on with your customers.
Trust is not just a soft metric. It really it drives loyalty. It drives long retention and long-term profitability. It is amazing. It is, and people feel safe because they can trust the quality of your products, they can trust your formulas, and they know you've got their back.
Look at me, trusting my Charlotte Tilbury face right now.
You can trust it. Gorgeous. Emma Grede, you are gorgeous.
From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So amazing.
Every damn day.
I know, you and I, darling.
Look at me, fishing for a contract over here.
I love it. You've got one.
All right, we're going to move to the rapid fire finish. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Darling, I put on my makeup and my skincare.
What are you using?
Is that what you're using? Charlotte Tilbury.
What's the last thing you do before you go to bed?
Rinse, repeat.
No doubt. Yeah. Who is a woman that inspires your confidence?
My mother.
Oh, I love that.
My mother.
That's so
She
nice.
does. Yeah.
Do you have a book that changed your life?
I do have a book that, Rhonda Byrne, The Secret, darling, I have to say. You and I both feel that, right? Definitely. And The Celestine Prophecy. My mother gave that to me when I was younger.
Oh,
That
I'm
was
going
the
to
first-
reread that. I haven't
Yes.
read that
Do you remember?
forever. Yes.
Celestine Prophecy and The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Those two have really had an effect on my life.
That's going to be my my Christmas reread.
I give it to everyone that works with me, and it really kind of helps shift their mindset and create that community and that kind of vision to strive to do things to live a life without limits, basically. Live a life without limits.
Damn right. What are you aspiring for next in your business life?
Conquer the world, darling.
And what about in your personal life?
In my personal life, I would just always wish for more time. Can we just bend it? Can we just create it?
Well, you might
can
be
we
able
quantum
to.
think?
If anyone can.
Can we quantum
Let's
jump
hold
it?
hands. We could probably do it. What is something that you valued when you were starting out your career that you no longer value?
I think it'll always be time. Time. I think, I think I'm always just want more time.
What is something that you value deeply right now in your life that you couldn't care less about when you started out?
It's time.
It's still time.
It's still time. I just want more time. I just love life.
Yeah.
I love people. I love life. I love my family. I love my job. I love everything. It's like I just want to have fun. As I said before, it's like, it's so annoying that I'm human and I have to sleep.
How many hours do you sleep a night?
I'd love an 8 hour. I love a lion. Oh, I'd love a lazy lion, but I don't do an 8 hour.
No,
I
I was
just
just
can't.
gonna
No,
say,
darling.
like,
I
when
would
do
be
you
so,
do 8
no. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's
What are you, a
probably-
solid 6?
Try for a 6.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a 4. That's never great. Like last night I had 4 hours sleep. So it just is because you're traveling, jet lag, it's just whatever. It's just, 4 hours. Solid 6.
God.
And sometimes when I'm having a lazy Saturday or Sunday, a lion, I love to have a lion. But, but it's probably a kind of a regular 6.
A regular
5,
6.
6.
That makes sense.
A regular 6.
She's busy. Thank God for
She's
the
busy.
flawless finish then.
Yeah, exactly, darling. Magic. My mother's like, you can't just rely on magic cream for everything. I was like, yes, you can.
You're like, you know what, Mum? You can. And they are.
Filter, magic cream in a full face of Tilbury. It's fine. She fake it to make it.
I love it, Charlotte. I have loved every second. I wish you could stay for another 2 hours.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
It's such
You're
a
the
treat.
best.
You're the best, and we've known each other for years, and it's so amazing, and I'm just in awe of everything you've done, and you're so inspiring, and this is just honestly such a treat and an honour to be on here with you.
For you to say that, you made me go cold. I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
You're the best.
Mwah.
Thanks for joining me on the Aspire podcast. For more strategies on how to build the life of your dreams, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.